Heyo, people from all places and races, how's everyone doing? Here we are, continuing with the celebration of Rabbids Fandom Day. And today, we want to make something very special and something quite unexpected. Something that we have never done before. So, let's put you into context. We know and love the Rabbids fan, right? That's why we're here for. That's what we are celebrating today, and we know all of the wonderful members that conform it, like Rabbid Loris, Rabbids 14, Officer Apple, Fletch King, Ryan, Razor Ruler, and all the rest. However, most of these aren't their names, as you may or may not have noticed. And we want to basically talk about it. Today we're gonna try to guess, or more so come up with names that would suit their personalities very well, because as much as we got accustomed to referring to every single one of the Rabbids fans by their usernames, it feels quite odd, and we do sometimes have ideas regarding how their actual names would be like. So yeah. So with that said, let's begin. We're gonna try to guess or come up with names of 30 distinct members of the Rabbids fandom, plus an extra. And well, this is gonna be a fun experience. Let's go then. Okay, we're starting off simple. His name is Loris, of course. But if that wasn't the case, we thought his name would be something like Lawrence. This is because we remember that Loris commented that his name is actually like a mispronunciation of his actual name. So I thought it would be something like that. Or because he also used to call himself Lorisai. Yeah. Lebois is a strange case. Oh, but we can come up with something easy. It would be Lenny. We do believe it's a really cute name. Magician Rabbit. We do believe we know this one. That will be Richard. However, we do believe that the name Richie would be much more suitable. Or maybe we're not wrong. Or maybe we're just making things up. But Richie sounds just such a perfect name for him. Koopa Derp. We try to base this idea on his OC Ben, so we do believe that either Benjamin or Benji would be suitable to be Koopader's name. Or even Bentley. That's story for another day. Officer Apple. She always had a face of Leah for me. When I see her, the first name that comes into my mind is Leah. Raving Rabbit. Or Raving, as we all call her. We don't have really much of a clue, but at one point we thought it would be something like Mitsuki, because she has a clear influence on Japanese yandere creations. But as time went on, we thought something much more suitable, much more, say, in line with who she is either Allison or Alice. What do you think? Okay, so for Rabbit 214, we do know her name. It would be Lori, but we always thought that, thinking about last names at times, we thought it would be something like Rodriguez or Toses. Noodles. We know this one. Easy. Sebastian. However, we never know. we never knew what would the last name be. We remember because he used to have an SJ as a signature inside all of his most recent drawings, and we came up with the idea of Jimenez, Sebastian Jimenez. For Razor Ruler, it's we know his name. We know his name from one of his old videos. We're not gonna say it out of respect, his privacy, but we'll just say that we were close because we came up with Brandon or Jamal. Those are the two names. Now for Willer, more so Will, would be pretty easy. It's Will. But we wanted to go a little bit, we put a little bit more thought process. We thought that considering his more sophisticated and reserved attitude, we thought it would be William or even Winston. We do believe he's suits him quite well. Aiden likes potatoes, also known as life-size Aiden. That's Aiden. Fletch King. We always thought of Fletcher. Fletcher just makes a lot of sense. Or something like Floyd. Floyd makes a lot of sense. Ryan Plantar. It's pretty easy. His name is Ryan. But instead of Plantar, we came up with the last name of either Porter or Powell. Ryan Powell or Ryan Porter. This one's super easy. Franier Martinez. That's his actual name. But we thought of his full name, and we thought it would be something like Franier Pedro Martinez Ortuño de la Gasca. You like that? For Yoru, we know her name. We know her name. Her name is Amelia. This has been sort of known with her game, Golf Dating Sim. She has mentioned it in a few videos as well. But we thought of her last name that would suit her quite well. And some may say it's N, Amelia N, but we thought of something like Amelia Rose. Pretty cool, right? Barakuma. This was an interesting case because we wanted to think of something like Barbara. That is a name that actually feels quite, perfect for her. But we also know that Bara is also a known name. So yeah, either Barbara or Bara. Those are two names that work quite well. Rust, good old Rust. We wanted to think of a more gender-neutral name, but with the whole thing that she is kind of like a demigirl, we wanted to think of something much more unique. So then we came up with Raylan. Bampa is an interesting case because her entire names and just the history of her usernames just give out a really good full name. Think about this. Candy Bampa Ribbons. It's perfect, huh? We all call her Candy. I think Candy works quite well. But if we had to mention something else, maybe Carla. We thought of Carla. She's Mexican. Messi. We always thought that her name would be Elizabeth or just Lizzie. Lizzie. She just has that face. That's just how we picture every other name would be. Hoke. Would you believe us if we said that we thought his name would be Horace or Horacio? We thought because of the H-O. We do believe it's a name that works, but turns out it was Enrique Travesía. That's the name of his channel. It makes a lot of sense. We found out maybe like almost 2 years after we've been mentioning him being his friends. So yeah, and some folks call him Ricky, which we think is pretty cool. Renstar. This lad, we do believe that even though it may not be that gender neutral, maybe yes, they would have gone for something like Remy. We know it could have made much more sense to call him something like just Ren or Rennie, but there's already a Rennie. It's one of their friends. We think that Remy works quite well. Gems and Mayhem. Gustav. That's the name that comes to our minds when we see Spectre. Considering his more fruity nature, as he would like to say, as he likes to express it, we think that a good name for him would be Keith. For Tim. His name is actually Max, but we at times think his full name would be Maxwell. It just fits so well, even though we all call him Tim. Bourbinator. This is a funny one. We thought of Bernie. we do believe it fits quite well for the whole thing he's going along with the whole being a Bourbinator. Just the kind of silly name inside the World of Rabbids Go Home. Bernie. Piper. That's easy, it's Piper. There's nothing else to add. Contendo. We thought that his name would be Conroy. Or maybe even Corey. We are more inclined to Conroy. It's kind of sweet. So Jawai. We came up with names that we feel would suit her quite well. Janet or Janice. More inclined to. Actually, no. We like them both. Janet or Janice. That would be. We think that would be Jawai's name. Professor Barranco 3. We never knew his name, but if we had to think of something that would make sense, it would be Prince or Prescott. Those Prince or Prescott, those would be the two names that come to our mind. Now the last one is for Pink, and what did we come up with? Aspen. We remember very well that Pink goes by any pronoun, so we could use a name that is gender neutral. We thought something that suits him quite well, Aspen. And to finish this off, we have one more, an extra, dedicated to an honorary Rabbids fan. You've heard this one before, folks. Kimiko Penelope. We do believe it's perfect. We know her real name, but we would not like to say it. She doesn't like to use it all that much. So we call her either KP, or if we need to kind of think of a full name, Kimiko Penelope. And thus, folks, this special video has ended. It was quite a fun ride, something very unexpected. Just we thought of this in a flash, and it was quite a fun experience to think of names for each one of the Rabbids fans, because we would like to sort of have try to get more acquainted with them. We cannot ask a lot of these names because, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff going on around on the internet. There's a bunch of wackos, and they have all the right to not share that information. And we respect totally that decision. Although it would be cool to know. So, and even if we never know, these are the names that come to our minds. So, if we call you one time, any of these names, know where that is, because we have a special care for you. We are very happy that you joined us today. We hope you stick around because there's still more stuff inside this special celebration for Rabbids Fandom Day. And we'll see you around!